Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the video. So a lot of people question exactly what am I working on in any given piece of gameplay or any given live stream, and the truth is, in this Let's Play world where all of my weird builds kind of collide, what I'm working on at any given moment is kind of hard to define because I'm always working on a lot of different things that often overlap in different ways. So for instance, I've recently stripped this entire mountain of all of its dirt. I think it's quite a satisfying project, I'd recommend it to you actually, and when I'm done with that, I end up with a bunch of dirt which I can use for other projects, and given that a lot of people are curious, so what projects are you going to use all of these stacks of dirt for? And that's something I figured, that is a good question. Why not answer the big projects I want to achieve in early 2019? And that's what today's video is for. The 5 big projects I don't want to just achieve this year, 2019, but I want to achieve over the next few weeks, and you'll be able to see in background gameplay and in live streams and such. So with that said, I hope you all enjoy the video, but let's dive straight into the first project, because this project is going to be a good example of dual use of land, doing 2 projects together that can really help each other out, because I want to have a mob grinder, but that's not what the first project is, although that will happen eventually. Instead, the first project is something that will help that out and also make the Let's Play world look better as a whole. If you don't know, I have this huge area right here where my museum and where my big collection of blocks lie. However, interestingly enough, next to that, I have this really messy patch of ground where there's just caves going all the way down to bedrock in some cases. It's a big old mess, and that's why I'm going to be spending a lot of time going down in there and covering it with torches in as many places as I can. There's so many torches and so many caves, and I'm going to fill them all up with light, and then what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to leave some record of where the cave entrances are so I can go in if I want to, but I'm going to cover this entire area up, and I'm going to terraform it to make it a lot flatter. Not to make it perfectly flat, because I have enough of that in the world, but to make it look much better than this whole mess we have right here. This is something that really kind of bugs me. A lot of my Let's Play world, because it was made so many years ago, and so many creeper explosions have gone off, or like I've mined dirt in some places, and just stuff like that, it looks so messy in so many places. It doesn't look that great, and it's something I want to improve. So just basically a facelift to this area of the world. I have this big gap between 2 big mountain ranges, and I want it to look great. I want there to be more little structures here. I want the ground itself to look better, and that's why I'm going to use a lot of the dirt, not all of it, not even most of it, because that's for another project, but I want to use most of it to do stuff like, for instance, cover up this cave and just make the area look much better, much more appealing, and much more pleasant, because again, if you don't know, this world is going to go for download, and there's stuff like this which bugs me and which I'd like to fix if I can. And also, like I said, torching up every single cave, because if you want a mob grinder, you need to make sure there's no place mobs can spawn anywhere nearby. So the easy way to do that is to torch up all the caves and then to torch up the ground, and the way I'm going to do that is by making the ground flat, which makes it a lot easier to torch up. So yeah, you've noticed it's turned to nighttime. Let's go to bed in my museum. Because you'll notice here, as we wake up, that the museum is not exactly what most people would call finished. So this has been one of my big projects to just get done for quite some time now, and the truth is, I actually did finish it, or at least I made it look finished from the front. Yeah, I'll be entirely honest with you on this one. This is one of those builds I just wanted to make people stop asking about what the monstrosity is, so I put a front on it. It's not the greatest front, but I put a front on it, as you can see right here, and I did make it look like it's finished from a lot of angles. Again, you can kind of spot right here why that's not the case, and I realized, like, rather than just like half finishing it, why not make it something to be proud of? I actually really like the museum for a couple of the things I've got going on right there. Like right now, I have every single painting in a room. I also have the dinosaur room you just saw, but it's not quite finished. And it's like, these are cool rooms. They're just not really developed rooms. It's like, this is a room with still some missing blocks in the corner there. Why is that? Was there something I intended to do there? I really don't know in some cases. And yeah, these sorts of things make me question, like, what, and also some of the paintings have changed back, but these sorts of things make me question, like, rather than having something that's just a lot of question marks, why not actually properly finish it up? I have an Elder Guardian in here, for God's sake. It ruins so much of my life. Why not make this something that actually I want to be in and that I want to look at? And that's what I'm going to be doing. This museum is going to get a facelift, both in terms of the exterior. So obviously one of the most clear things to do is finish this roof. Should have done it a long time ago. It just takes a lot of spruce. So finish up the roof, finish up the top of it. But then also there's stuff like this. This room would look much nicer finished off with maybe some podzol, make it look like it's a prehistoric room. Would be a fun little exhibit, right? This room right here, I want to collect every food in Minecraft. There's more foods now than when I first started it, so we'll have to change the layout, but it'd be cool to have every single food in Minecraft, right? I think so. So yeah, I'm going to be using this place right here as a food exhibit. Then I'll use that one as the obvious, collecting every block exhibit, or like every item. I'm not quite sure. Then we've got a painting exhibit. We've got a dinosaur exhibit, the underwater, like, we'll have some tropical fish, a guardian, the Elder Guardian, and then this room right here, who knows what we'll use it for. But then I also figured figured, or maybe even just use this for that, because in the same way I love the art gallery as like a way to show off paintings, I use it for texture pack videos all the time. It's really handy. It's a nice thing to have for the sorts of videos I make. I think in a similar way, I like banners. Banners are great, and given that shields are a thing, or at least they will be fairly soon, I figure, you know, let's get back into the banner tutorials, and let's make 100 banners in the basement. I'm gonna make a basement to this building. In fact, I'd show you right now, but like I literally can't because of the Elgato, but like I want to have a basement to this building with a bunch of banners, and then I could actually have a cool corner of the world where you can see a lot of stuff all exhibited in the same place. You know, the point of a museum could be filled by this, because right now it's just the weirdest mess where you can see, again, there's loads of cool exhibits, and then I just kind of missed out. Like, this was meant to be a shop, but for some reason it's made from carpet. There's just so many questionable decisions here, and this year, and hopefully in the next few months, maybe a just mega live stream, I want to fix all of that stuff, because it's just kind of annoying in the way that it is right now. But maybe that's just me that sees that, because what's definitely not just me that sees is my glass covered end. That's right, I am covering the entire end in glass, and I've done most of it now, or at least I'd say I've done about half of it right now. The end is pretty well covered in glass, and although you see Endermen around here because they teleport out onto the stick, it's a whole problem. It's a big project I'm making. The start is just a fun way to use a lot of glass, but then it started to become something that's actually quite practical. So, pro tip right here, mobs do not spawn on transparent blocks, and this means that all of the mobs will spawn on the blocks that aren't transparent. It's kind of like lighting up your end, but it looks a lot cooler, at least in my opinion. I love the way this looks. It has a really interesting kind of finish to it, but then as well as just being an interesting finish, it also means all of the Endermen spawn on the few endstone blocks we do have available, which means we're essentially making Enderman farms without even realizing it. And then I realized, why not remove some of the ends? So this is kind of like a separate project that's going to take a whole bunch longer, but then also we can remove the, you know, the corners of the end. We can remove those little endstone blocks, and that's something that we're also going to be doing just so we can get a bunch of end. Like, we're going to have so much endstone by the end of this. We already have a bunch of it, but we're going to collect a bunch of endstone by destroying those islands, and then we can make an enderman farm, which is also one of the best XP farms in the game. We'll have as many ender pearls as one could ever reasonably want, and we'll also have access to, of course, on top of that, a bunch of XP. So XP, ender pearls, and a interesting looking project, because I love the way this end looks. What more is there to want? The answer is there isn't more to want, because this is a really fun project that's actually one of the closest ones to being completed. I think just a few more hours of work, like I'm just going to chug away at it, maybe, you know, even in a couple of days, but I want to just chug away at this, finish the glass placement, and then that'll be one of the biggest projects completed. 55,000 glass blocks is how many I have, and I've placed about 25,000 so far, so about 30,000 more glass blocks to place, and when it's done, the end's going to change forever. Also, I just realized they're spawning on top of the towers, because that's one of the few places they can, so I've got to cover those in torches too, but still, you can see how, like, yeah, this is a fun potential thing. But let's jump into our end, and let's show you the next project. Assuming, of course, these creepers don't blow up my my museum first, because for some reason, this is just a mob magnet, so we're going to light this place up. But then we'll go show you my next project. Because my next project is something that's going to be taking advantage of blue ice, one of the coolest blocks that came in the update Aquatic that I don't think gets enough love. It's such an interesting block. It's hard to get, but it rewards you when you do get it with some of the fastest ice movement you'll ever see. It's crazy how fast you can move, both on foot because it has a high slippery factor, but when you have boats on ice, you go at some of the fastest speeds possible in Minecraft. So if you want to get around your Minecraft world, it's one of the best ways to do so. So I'm going to be making something that I'm going to be calling a boated way. I'm going to make it in the overworld because I just hate the process of using the nether to get between places like this. For some reason, my nether portals just don't link correctly in this area of the world. So instead of using nether portals, I'm just going to make a giant boat pathway going from here back to where the museum is roughly at. We're talking 2,000 blocks or so of blue ice, and that's a lot of blue ice. So how do I intend to get that? Well, the reason this project is one that's been a little bit on hiatus, we first started it was like a live stream in the middle of last year called Project Floating Islands, or Project, we had a fun name for it, like it was basically the idea was to have floating snowy islands. I really love the idea, and if you look over here, you'll see it's actually one that looks really cool. However, the reason that we kind of like suspended it, and the reason I'm not going to be doing it immediately, we're going to be waiting, is because of the fact that, you know, to make these islands, to get all the packed ice, to get the snow, to make these things possible, you know, the islands, they're doable. Snow, easy to get. Ice, easy to get. However, there's a real issue in the current update. You might not be familiar with it. It was something I assumed was by design, but it's actually a bug with Bedrock they're going to be fixing at some point in the next few months. But right now, when you mine ice with a efficiency 5 pickaxe, so we've got one, oh wait, this isn't efficiency 5. We've got Actually, this isn't efficiency 5 either. But if you use a pickaxe in general, you don't get a speed increase applied to mining blocks like, packed ice, to mining blue ice. So blue ice, even when you have an efficiency 5 pickaxe and you have a beacon on you, it should mine instantly, but it still takes this amount of time. It's a real problem, and if you want to get packed ice, because to make 2,000 blue ice, you need to have 18,000 packed ice, or you could just mine the blue ice that way. But you need to have one of those two things. It's a real problem, and because of that, there's no point doing way more work now when I can just wait for a bug to be patched. So I'm going to destroy this entire iceberg biome and use it to make both, first of all, something that's kind of nice by itself, but I'm going to use it to make the floating ice islands, because I think they're cool. They're a project worth fighting for. And then also, I'm going to be using them to work on the next thing, although not the ice, but it's going to link into the next thing, which actually brings us all the way full circle to the start, because you know how I collected a bunch of dirt by destroying that mountain? Well, maybe, just maybe, that dirt's going to come in useful. Because I have a giant, insane sugarcane farm. It goes from bedrock to sky height, and the usefulness of this is it means I never need sugarcane in this world, and even if I do, I can get it within a matter of seconds. So right now, running out of fireworks, do you know how I get the paper? I have stacks of it lying around. Even if I don't, then it's so easy to get it. However, I'm in a similar situation where I often need, stuff like wheat to feed animals or for hay bales. I just want wheat, a lot of it basically, and having this farm right here, which was just one there at first, then it turned into 2, then into 3, was enough for me. Truth be told, the 4 layers of this farm would probably be enough forever if I just harvested it regularly, but I don't like to harvest things regularly. The reason I have insane farms is so I can do it once and just call it quits. Again, being insanely rich in any field would be nice, right? Like, wouldn't you like to have unlimited money as opposed to just $1 million? Yes, you would, so I'd like to have the equivalent of that. I'd like to be a billionaire, a trillionaire, or whatever, but in Minecraft wheat. So the way you do that is you make your farm, and we're going to copy this exact same design of 2 blocks, then the next layer, 2 blocks, then the next layer, 2 blocks, then the next layer, and fill the entire thing with wheat seeds. So it's going to take a lot of seeds, it's going to take a lot of dirt, which is why it's handy that I recently destroyed a mountain just for the dirt, because this should give me a fair number. I think it gets me almost all the way to sky height. We take some more dirt, and then we can finish the insane wheat farm. And in fact, this is actually going to be the one I do in the soonest amount of time, because this Thursday, that's right, Valentine's Day, you can watch me make wheat farms. That's a thing that you can totally do in just, so it's Valentine's Day, that's 4 days from now, right? Yeah, I would recommend you come check it out. It's going to be a mega stream. We're going to be streaming pretty much like all evening, until the farm is finished, layer by layer by layer. We're going to make an insane sugarcane farm. I'm looking forward to it. Sorry, an insane wheat farm. We already have the insane sugarcane farm. I'm looking forward to it. I hope all of you are looking forward to it as well, because it's going to be a fun time, or at least I think it's going to be a fun time. If you think so too, then I'd like to see you there. And if you don't think it's a fun time, then you're not. Stop watching this video. I hate you. Get out. No, I'm being... in all seriousness, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you to everyone who supports the streams and the recent survival project videos. It's been encouraging me to play more and more survival Minecraft in this world, and that's something I always love. When I get into, you might not believe this, but literally mining dirt or literally placing dirt for like 90 minutes, those are fun live streams. We hang out, we have a great time, and yeah, I like them a lot. A lot of you seem to like them, and if you want to see then that's a thing we'll be doing literally in 4 days, so please do come check it out if that's your thing. If it's not, then over the next few weeks and months, you'll see all these different projects slowly start to form through the form of background gameplay. So, the end being covered in glass, you're going to see a lot of that. I know it seems a bit repetitive, but it's a huge project. That's going to be a big video that will come out at some point in the next, month or 2. And yeah, the reason I want to do all these projects is because, again, I want to improve the world. I want to make it look better. I want it to be a better representation of what I'm doing in Minecraft these days. And that's why we change things. That's why we sometimes kind of like almost change the entire direction, because it's cool to see 6 years of Minecraft builds all fitting in together with some going in between and this and that. I know, I like it personally. Maybe you do too. Maybe you don't though. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.